This is Bob Maloney from My MMA News, and I am in Balance Studios, Fishtown headquarters with Jay Radick. Jay, listen, I refer to Jay as the baddest fighter in Philly that nobody knows about, and we're going to get into why that is. Jay, number one, is a humble dude. He's not like bragging about how bad he is, but fighting goes in cycles, and right now Jay's at 205, and there's just nobody in the area at his level. Jay, let's talk a little bit about it, man. You have to travel to get fights, so tell me what's been on the last year. What have you done last year fight-wise?
The past like year and a half, I've been able to actually get some fights, you know what I mean? It was so hard for so many years. Like no one would fight me. I was kind of stuck in this middle ground where I couldn't get a pro fight because the commission wouldn't approve me to go pro because they wanted me to fight more amateur. And then I couldn't actually find any more amateur fights because nobody would fight me. So I eventually had to go out of state. I tried New Jersey, Delaware, New York, everywhere. And it's just, I think just my height or whatever, like people just weren't willing to take a risk, I guess, you know what I mean? So eventually I got hooked up on the West Coast. I grew up in Seattle, so I got hooked up out there with somebody that I know. Ivan Salaberry, UFC vet. He got me hooked up with one of the promotions out there. And then after I got out there, they kept finding me fights with no problem. And those guys out there, they weren't scared. They didn't want to pad their record or anything. They just wanted to fight. So I got a few fights in the past year and a Muay-Thai fight. And I've just been doing the same thing I've been doing the whole time. It's just like working hard, training a lot, trying to find better sparring partners, and just trying to get more fights so I can build my name so people can finally see like what I've been doing this whole time. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
Well, you said you're from Seattle.
Yeah.
How did you find your way to martial arts? Is it something that growing up? What did you do? What lured you to mixed martial arts?
So I was a basketball player, and I played high school, college, and then I went semi-pro. I went to Europe for a little bit, and I really loved basketball until I got to a certain point where it became much harder than I thought it was going to be in terms of trying to get to the NBA and all that stuff. And I got really, I kind of fell out of love with it because it became more like a job rather than what I love. Like I love MMA, like I love jiu-jitsu, and I didn't have that same love for basketball anymore. So as soon as I'm like out of love with what I'm doing, I have to find something new. I can't stick with it, and that's what happened. And I just completely switched from all the effort that I was putting into basketball, and I just switched sports, man, because I was such a huge fan, and I thought that like I could probably get good at it because I was already an athlete. I have some attributes being tall and everything, and I figured like I could probably learn pretty fast. But I came into it really late. I came into it at like 27, I want to say. Like most people would never start MMA at 27, but I just thought I had faith in myself that I'd be able to at least get to a certain level where I'd be able to compete, and then be moderately successful. And now, finally starting to get to the point where people can see what I've been doing, So yeah.
Well, you found yourself over here, and you found your way to Balance. I'm sure everybody knows you're part of the family over here now. What is, are you comfortable here? What's going on? How long you been with Ricardo? And listen, even though you say you came into it this late, I know that people respect your jiu-jitsu. It's much more advanced than you're giving yourself credit for.
Yeah, I've been here for maybe like 6 years now, I want to say. Man, I love Balance. Before I came to Balance, I didn't really know what jiu-jitsu was. I thought it was good. I was at a couple other gyms around Philly, and I thought that I was getting decent training. But when you're in the beginning stages of MMA or jiu-jitsu or whatever, you don't really know, what the level of your training really is until you go somewhere else and you get like better partners, and you start realizing where you line up in the hierarchy. And once I came to Balance, immediately the first day I got here, Rick rolled with me, and I realized that this is where I needed to be. I needed a guy who's a bigger guy, and there's a lot of other high-level bigger guys here that could push me, teach me, and get me to where it is that I wanted to go. Because I had no other goals in my mind other than get better and get to the UFC. Like that's the only thing I ever thought of. And even when I wasn't able to fight, as long as I was here and I was still getting high quality training with all these guys, I knew that I was going to eventually get the chance, and I just stayed focused. And it's been great here. I love balance.
Do you have like your eyes like you're always looking for? Hey, you never know. When some fight might pop up Bellator or something. Do you keep your eyes open for that? Or are you always like out there searching for something, or are you waiting for things to come to you? How does that work?
I honestly, I'm in a professional fight camp. To tell you the truth, I don't really take time off because of what I do, because of my company too. My job outside of fighting is actually personal training, and I'm a coach, kickboxing coach, and all that stuff. So it's like my job is already to be in shape and athletics and performance and all that stuff. So I'm coaching other people in that area. So it kind of makes it easier on me. So I don't always have to be like waiting for a fight before I start training and getting into a camp. A lot of guys, they do that. I'm just permanently in a camp.
No, your career is physical fitness. So
yeah.
give some and tell us about what's the name of you do private training, personal training, you do kickboxing classes.
Yeah.
What's the name of your company in case anybody out there is in Philly and you really want to get in shape right here? And this guy knows it all. You won't be sorry to hook up with Jay.
I appreciate that, man. Limitless. I operate out of Fairmount, and I do personal training, one-on-one kickboxing, group classes, and I've been doing that for, I want to say like 8 years now. Like right before I started, or maybe right after. It was like right around the same time I started MMA. So, and I actually started it because I knew the hardest part about being a fighter was actually being able to have control over your schedule and being able to support yourself while you're chasing the dream. Because we have to train, like early in the morning and sometimes in the middle of the day and then at night. And if you have a 9 to 5, that doesn't really work. You have to be able to come in at noon on a Friday like we did today and be able to train with the high level guys. So I started the company like 8 years ago, and I just didn't look back. And in the beginning, it was just to like make money, and then eventually I realized I really loved coaching, and I really loved helping people work towards their goals and change. And I've helped so many people change their lives now, where it's like this is just who I am now. Like I'm obsessed with potential. I'm obsessed with like potential. I love seeing people the first time I meet them, and then the transition they make, within a couple weeks, and the transition they make within 6 months, and it's really like rewarding, I guess. You know what I mean? I just love what I do. I love seeing people succeed. So that's just what I do, and it crosses directly over to what we do here. We're all working together in jiu-jitsu. We're all working together in the MMA world, and we're trying to help each other succeed and push harder and learn more. So, yeah.
You can find Jay Radick on Instagram at Limitless, and also you can click on the link in this story and go to his website and check him out. Jay, before we go, any shout outs or love you want to give out before we go?
I just want to shout out my MMA News, number one, and just my coaches, my training partners, and everybody who just supports me through this whole process. I've had the longest journey just to get to where I am now, to be like undefeated and a champion in another league, and it's been a long process, but everyone who's stuck with me and didn't lose faith in me, I really appreciate all that.
Hey, well, I got pictures on my Facebook page from years ago when you were fighting as an amateur, and now you're a pro.
Yeah.
And listen, 205, come and get him. This guy, he's the truth. Jay, pleasure, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.